before I go, I will just give a little bit of fantasy advice. Darren Waller, I think, is going too low. He has an injury designation because I think he's holding in due to a contract dispute. He just changed agents, so watch out for that. Watch out for him to maybe have a new contract before Sunday, and hopefully he's full go. I think he's kind of just like not trying to injure himself before he potentially gets a new contract. He's criminally underpaid. I am buying the hype on Christian Kirk as a later round receiver because I just think Trevor Lawrence looks different. Dameon Pierce, mentioned earlier, running back and for the Houston Texans. I think now it just came out that he's number one running back on the depth chart.
He's starting in my league.
I drafted him in that league that I'm in the league with Matt Leck and Jason from This Is Revolution and David Griscom.
He had some opinions about the Falcons that he.
Ooh.
So call in, Jason. If you listen any later, please call in.
Call in later. But I took Dameon Pierce later because I just and now it looks like he's a starting running. I don't know in terms of the value for your draft if he's the best pick because he's now kind of like going to be skyrocketing. But I'm buying the hype on Gabriel Davis as a fourth round wide receiver.
I put in my starting lineup as well.
I mean, I'm buying the hype on T. Higgins as a third round wide receiver because I think Jamar Chase, despite him being the most immense talent, T. Higgins is really talented too, and is could if they're double teaming Chase could get some looks.
And listen, in regards to Gabriel Davis, I mean, if that performance in the semifinals between the Chiefs and Bills from last year, where he had 4 receiving touchdowns, that's not an anomaly. And if Josh Allen and if the Davis Allen connection continues, he's not going to be a bad pickup week in, week out.
And like in terms of late round tight ends, I like Cole Kmet, even though the Bears are going to be terrible just because they have no other options. But for the most part, guys, I don't want to reveal too much because I have a draft tomorrow. But for the most part, let me say to you, hitch your wagon to high-powered offenses. There becomes a point where the gets too great, and say a Falcons player falls to you, or a Bears player, or a Seahawks player. But for the most part, how you win your league is by being a part of offenses that score a lot of points. And it doesn't need to be a player that, is an established star, but it needs to be someone who's a piece of the offense and who's going to be an integral part of that offense. Wait a little later on quarterbacks too. Don't be the person that takes Josh Allen in the 3rd round or Patrick Mahomes in the 3rd round. Get some more value later. Look at some of the quarterbacks and look at their efficiency in the red zone and their ability to rush. And another good tip, in my opinion, is if you're not getting an elite tight end, and that includes Kelsey, Mark Andrews, Waller, in my opinion, even though he's going later, Kyle Pitts, although I have no questions about his talent, I do have questions about the Falcons offense. Then, wait for tight end. But for the most part, just take my advice and look in the better offenses, try to get pieces of those as opposed to saying, oh, this player's amazing. Also, when in doubt, go youth, go younger, less likely, particularly in the running back position, to rack up injuries. So that's a bit of my fantasy advice for you. Let's read some IMs and then we're going to get out of here.